everyone, and welcome to 5 Tips. Very excited to have Dr. Janet Walker from Vistage, a great person here in Omaha, Nebraska that has done a lot for the business community. She's here to share her 5 tips around peer advisory boards. So excited to have you, Janet. Let's have you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then let's get right into the 5 tips.
Thanks, John. Thank you so much for including me in your 5 Tips series. I'm excited to be part of that. So I am a chair for Vistage Worldwide. Vistage is peer advisory boards for CEOs and business owners. And Vistage itself has been around for 60 some years. I've been a Vistage chair for about 3 years, but I was a member prior to that. I love helping businesses grow. I love even more helping business leaders be the best leader that they can be. So,
excellent. Let's get into your 5 tips now.
All right. So, my first tip is Vistage boards or peer advisory boards should help you to make better decisions. After all, as a business owner, business leader, as a business executive, your number one job is to make decisions and make the best decisions possible. Without boards around you, or without different perspectives around you, meaning different life experiences, different data, it's hard to make the right decisions. I once heard a leader say the higher up in an organization they go, the less truth they get. And that's not because the people around them are getting less truthful. It's that the data that they need to make their decision is less available to them. Either people are telling them what they think they need to know. People already think that, hey, they're the boss, that their decisions must be right. And so they're not challenging on them. So it's hard for us to really make good decisions once the higher up we go in an organization. And if that's our number one job and it's getting harder to do that, I think we need to figure out how do we get the data and the perspectives and the diverse opinions to make the decisions we need to make. Second tip for choosing good advisory boards is being held accountable. That may sound odd, but who is going to hold the boss accountable? If I remember a investment group tapped me to run a startup company for them to get it to grow it and sell it. And there was no one that knew the decisions that I needed to make. Even the investment board, they relied on me to make the decisions. My employees assumed that since I was chosen to make the decisions, that I knew what I was doing. There were business model challenges I needed to, and changes I needed to make. There's money I needed to spend that wasn't mine to spend. There were employee performance issues that I needed to take care of. Some of them I knew how to do, some I didn't know how to do. I would kick the can down the road a little bit. But there really was no one to hold me accountable day in, day out, except for my advisory board. I was a member of Vistage at that point, and I brought my decisions, my challenges, I guess, the things I needed to make decisions, I brought them to my advisory board for them to help me think through, number one, the things I didn't know about, but to help me to think through the things that I needed to find some courage in some cases, to make the decisions on and to follow through then on those decisions. Another reason that you should pick an advisory board is who's going to help you grow. I invite no one to be part of one of my advisory boards unless they can answer 2 questions. Do they want their company to grow, or are they comfortable with where they're at? Because to me, comfort zone is comfort coma, and I'm not qualified to deal with anybody in a coma. So number 1, do they want to grow? And number 2, do they want to grow their business? Number 2, do they want to grow themselves? I quite often will ask people who I am interviewing to be part of the board is, are you the best leader that your employees deserve? What they're listening, what they think they're going to hear is, are they the best leader they can be? Because quite often we're trying to be the best we can be, but I want to know, how well do they know their employees? How flexible are they? How in tuned are they to the leadership needs of their employees? Because every employee is different, and we need to grow our leadership skills, grow our leadership muscles. And in my peer advisory boards, that's what we work on. We work on knowing each other's KPIs, knowing each other's growth plans, knowing each other's growth challenges, and helping each other figure out how do we work around that so that we can grow. And then knowing our own personal problems, personal challenges. For example, if you're conflict avoidant and you're not getting the performance out of your key executives that you need to get, your advisory board is going to help you figure out how to manage those conflicts so that you can lead through those. From a growth standpoint, Dun & Bradstreet does research every other year on the 25,000 Vistage companies, and typically Vistage companies outperform other companies in their industries by 2 to 3 times growth. So I think we're on to something.
No kidding.
Isolation is another thing that people should be looking at when they're looking at peer advisory boards. Top officers quite often are isolated. There is few people that they share their problems and concerns with. They don't even want to take them home. Home should be a sanctuary for us to come and relax. Quite often our significant others aren't equipped to deal with the concerns that we have, or don't want to hear the concerns we have. If I've heard it once, I've heard it a dozen times as my members come into the board meetings. It's like, thank goodness for all of you, because I have nowhere else I can talk about these concerns and challenges. So there's a reason that executives have high suicide rates, have high substance abuse situations, have just a lot of challenges. Is because they're burdening, they're shouldering a lot of burdens, and in that isolation, and your peer advisory board should be helping you with the things you don't want to talk about with anybody else. Finally, one thing that you should be looking at when you're looking at a peer advisory board is who can help you manage change. None of us can remain static, or can have status quo. We always need to be looking for something new, because if you're staying the same, you're falling behind. So in the peer advisory boards, who's going to help you know what the trends are, what you need to be looking at, what new ways of doing things are, and who's going to help you think through new ways to come up with industry changes, organizational changes, help you plan through those. And so how do you get a group who can help you think through those changes? So John, those are my 5 tips of what you need to look for when you are looking for a peer advisory board to help you grow your business.
Those are fantastic, Janet. I just believe so strongly in peer groups, and I lived through a lot of those with accountability and isolation. One of the things I used to say to my staff, I'm not sure they always enjoyed it, but it was sometimes they like, you know exactly what to do next? And I was like, you just got to remember that today is the largest business I've ever run, because we were always a growing business. So yesterday was smaller than today. And it was great to have some people around me that could give me some experience and share, so I didn't have to do all that. So a couple of questions for you. First of all, is peer groups and peer advisory groups really just for the CEO and owner, or are there some other options out there as well for
that's a great question. There are other options. So I don't know about other groups, but Vistage they actually have 3 levels of boards. So they've got the one for the CEOs and business owners, and then they have the one for what we call key executives, and that's that layer right below the CEOs. That's that one. There are key people that we rely on them to execute daily on the variety of decisions that have been made. And to have them have a group of like peers around them is of great value. And then we've got a third group called, their title of the board is called Trusted Advisors. And these are individuals who, they might just have an individual business, like a consulting business, a law practice, a CPA firm, but they're individuals who have business services for the business owners and business leaders. And so that's our third level of boards, I guess, that we have within our Vistage suite of boards.
No, that's great. And how does somebody go about choosing a peer advisor or choosing Vistage? What does the process look like?
Great question. I think number one is we need to get clear on why are we choosing a board? What's my personal purpose for choosing it? Is it for socializing? Is it to help that with that isolation people? Is it surround myself with other individuals to socialize? And I'm not trying to say that in a bad way. It's like we need a way to get out of we need a way to recreate, and there's not a lot of people we can relate to. Is it for tips? Is it for networking and building our business networking and getting business leads? That's another purpose. Or is it, and this is really the reason to join a Vistage board, is it to truly grow my business, or and to grow myself? I do not know of any organization who's outperformed their leader. So if the leader is holding them back, the leader needs to improve their abilities too. So getting clear on what's my purpose for wanting to be on a board, and then going out and looking for, not everybody needs those 5 tips that I went through, but get clear on your purpose. And then every type of advisory board has different price tag. If your goal is to grow your business, the price tag should be irrelevant, because you're going to grow your business. You're investing in yourself, and you're investing in your business.
That is so true. Well, I want to really thank you, Janet, for taking the time to share your 5 tips, and I want you to have a fantastic rest of your day.
John, I appreciate it very much. Thank you.